Hey everybody out there in the YouTube universe, this is Mr. Movie, and today's video is going to be another top 5. If you watch my other videos, you know I don't do top 10s by genre. I do top 5s by actor or director that are in my collection. And today's video is going to be a top 5 for a director. For the movie to be considered, or movies to be considered, they have to be directed by the director, not just written by them, produced by them, any of that. It can be all that, but they have to be directed by said actor. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the top 5 Martin Scorsese movies that are in my collection. Martin Scorsese is Hall of Fame director. Directed some of the greatest movies of all time. He's influenced so many directors, and he has a style all to his own. Being from New York, I really appreciate his movies so much because they show the true underbelly of New York, all different aspects of New York, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to use a movie title. Not a Scorsese one, but a movie title nonetheless. He really brings that through. When you watch the movie, you can feel like you could touch New York. You could taste it. You could smell it. It's everything that encompasses New York, and it's near and dear to my heart. Besides him just making phenomenal movies. This is really tough because there's some that I had to leave off because it's 5, but these I'm taking into account my personal favorites, and on top of it, just the all-time great Martin Scorsese movies. Okay, starting at number 5, we're gonna go with Gangs of New York. I love Gangs of New York. If you know me, you know I love period pieces. I just spoke about New York. This one's New York, but very deep in the past of New York, right around, the beginning kind of New York being New York City. I love the set pieces. I love the outfits. They get perfectly right, with the exaggerated hats and the canes and the jackets. The whole different gangs of the 5 points. And then 2 of my favorite actors, Daniel Day-Lewis, he's in the GOAT conversation for greatest actor of all time. And one of my personal favorites, and also another one of my personal favorites, Leonardo DiCaprio. And they play off each other really well. And the fact that, the whole time DiCaprio's character is secretly trying to get in with the Bill the Butcher character, who was Daniel Day-Lewis, he's trying to get in with him so he could kill him. That tension is constant throughout the movie, and it makes for a great story. And I like how it historically goes through things that New York and the 5 points went through at this time in history, and the direction is just so on point, and it drags you into the movie and won't let you go. And even at the end, you're like, oh, you're blown away. And the actors just are phenomenal in this movie. They just pull it off so well, and you love the characters, you hate the characters, but you're into it. It's a really great film, and like I said, this list is tough, so that one's at number 5. Coming in at number 4, I also had a tough time putting these in any kind of order, but let's see what you think about it. Number 4 is Casino. This is the start of the Robert De Niro section of the list, because all the other movies have Robert De Niro in it. The coupling of De Niro and Scorsese is like it was just meant to be. They are perfect for each other. He just, the way De Niro captures everything Scorsese directs exactly the way you would want an actor to do what you're directing them to do. He has a vision, De Niro gets it, and he just pulls it off in every single movie he does. He's in, like 75% of his movies for a reason. And this one, you have De Niro, you have Pesci, you have Sharon Stone. There's so many actors in this movie. And, he's associated with doing mob movies, but not, I mean, there's a lot, some that have a little mob influence in it, but there's only really a couple of really mobbed out movies. That, you know, he has other specific avenues he goes down. This is kind of like that. Is it a mob movie? Not really. The mob is involved because the mob was involved with Las Vegas from the beginning. So yeah, it's on the outside, it's on the periphery of it. It's not the main thing. The main thing is Las Vegas. It is the casino, the Tangiers. And it's, you know, the main character De Niro plays is Jewish. So, you know, and he's the main guy. You have the mob guy who's his best friend in Pesci, but, you know, it's a great story. It's, you know, tells you how kind of, in a movie sort of way, how Las Vegas was started, who ran it, how they ran it. And it's just a deep dive into the whole world of gambling and casinos, Las Vegas, and, you know, and the mafia. Excellent movie. You know, it's long, but you never know it. You're right. You breeze right through it. I've seen it a million times. So many quotable lines, great acting, great scenes. I love it. Classic movie. Coming in at number 3, talking about classic movies, Raging Bull. Another New York movie. Now, Raging Bull is about a boxer from the Bronx. That's where I'm from. So this is also near and dear to my heart. But, you know, a lot of times it gets put on sports movies lists. I get it. It's about boxing. But it's not so much about boxing like some of the other movies aren't about the mafia. Boxing is present. It's what the main character does. But that's not what it's really about. It's about the boxer's life. It's about him coming up and what he has to deal with, what he has to go through, his family, his wife, you know, all the ups and the downs, his career. You know, it's more a character study of De Niro's character, the main character. You know, it's a, you know, boxing is present, but it's more of a character study of him. And that's another thing that Scorsese is really, really good at, is character studies. Getting deep into the character's life, the character's mindset, what the character's motivations are, taking them from the beginning to the end, how they grow, whether they get better as a person or worse as a person. And it shows all the dimensions of the character that you know, he focuses the movie around. And it also does it with the characters who are on the side of the main character. Great movie. I love it. And it's like I said, another near and dear to my heart movie. Coming in at number 2 is another New York movie and another even better character study, and that's Taxi Driver. Classic movie. And I see a lot of movies that take this trope of the regular guy having his descent into madness. If you saw that new Joker movie that had come out not too long ago, a lot of people said it was a ripoff of this, and that's what I saw immediately. What they did was they took Taxi Driver, the slow descent of a man into madness, and they just slapped the Joker on it. That took me out of it a little. I don't hate that movie, but, you know, it's such a Taxi Driver ripoff. And, you know, in this movie, De Niro's character, you know, no mafia, not even Italian, nothing like that. Not really crime. It's more the city is the crime, and it's affecting this one man. All the stuff that's going around him, you know, all the crime and prostitution and how the city is, you know, this is in the 70s. The city was a mess, and, you know, just all of this craziness going on. And he's a taxi driver, so he experiences all of it, and it just slowly drives him to the point of no return. Now, I think the character had some of them mental issues to begin with, and this just slowly pushed him over the edge. And then, you know, there's a woman, Sybil Shepherd's character, that he falls in love with, but is he really in love with her? And it's tied into a politician she works for, and it's that whole crazy thing of, does he, if he kills this politician, will it impress her? It's that sick mindset of, of people who assassinate people. They think they're doing it for somebody else a lot of the time. He thinks he's doing it for Sybil Shepherd, but in his being a bad character, he's actually a good character in a way, because you have a young Jodie Foster who's being prostituted by Harvey Keitel's character, and his one mission is to impress Sybil Shepherd's character, but his other mission is to save the Jodie Foster character, which he ends up doing, and sacrificing himself in a way, in a really crazy stylistic shootout that, it's intense and it blows you away. And you never know if he really dies. There's some debate about that, but great film. The direction is amazing. He's in it too. Scorsese. He has a memorable, pretty crazy scene that I won't get into, but classic movie. So many movies have taken from this and did something similar, or took pieces of it and put it into their movie. So very influential, great movie. Number 2, Taxi Driver. Number 1, of course, Goodfellas. In my opinion, putting The Godfather to the side, because that is on its own plane. You just put that to the side. But if you don't count The Godfather because it's the gold standard for movies in general, that's why I put it to the side. If you're just saying best mob movie ever made, I go with Goodfellas. Now, this is Scorsese diving headfirst into the mafia pool, and nobody does it better. It's another New York movie based on real guys, things that really happened in the New York mob, and De Niro again, Pesci again. Pesci steals the show. This is one of the most quoted movies of all time, hands down. I mean, there's so many quotes in here. One of the most famous scenes ever, that everybody does an impression of or talks about is the, am I funny? Am I a clown? I'm here to amuse you. That whole thing. And that's intense too, because you don't know what's going to happen. But it follows, that's so many great actors in it too. They're amazing. But it follows the Ray Liotta character through, coming up in the mob, and getting involved with Pesci as his partner, working for De Niro, who's working for Paul Sorvino, the boss. And it's just, from beginning to end, you can't take your eyes off this movie. It just pulls you in and won't let you go. And you feel like you're in that world. You feel like, you might even feel like a mobster, hey, you feel like a tough guy when you watch it. And it's just like, you feel like you're part of their crew, going through the things that they go through. And killer soundtrack, everything about it, it's just flawless. And like I said, in my opinion, the best, not Godfather, mafia movie ever made. It's dark too, and it's, but that's the thing. He catches, that's what he does a lot in his movie. He catches the dirty underbelly of things, the grit of it. And that's what he did, in Taxi Driver. He does it with New York, and, the whole taxi driver scene. And, in the casino, he does it with the darkness of what the casino life is like. And, all these movies, he catches the essence of the underside of it, the darkness of it. And he does that here with the mafia, which is a dark subject to begin with, because, they murder people, they rob people, they're criminals. But he humanizes them, and the character development is amazing in what he does with them. And they're not one-dimensional, just shoot them up, and take them all out and, get all the money. They're actually individual human being, flesh and blood characters that, you come to love and you come to hate, and you love that you hate them and you hate that you love them. And that's the best kind of characters and best kind of direction. So Goodfellas at number 1. Those are my top 5 Martin Scorsese movies that are in my collection. If you agree, disagree, hop in the comments. Let me know what your favorite Martin Scorsese movies are. And if you dig the content and you like me doing the movie reviews, you like the top 5 lists and all that stuff, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so when I do new ones, you'll get the new ones, and like it, share it with your other movie friends who are aficionados or maybe just casual movie fans. And that being said, this is Mr. Movie, and I am signing off. See you next time again at the Flicks.